Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about, or telling you guys, a story that happened to me when I was at Petsmart getting one of my hermit crabs. So it's a little, like, I sort of actually had forgotten about this story until the other day. I was sort of just like thinking about like where I got all my hermit crabs, and then I remembered when I got one of them, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. And so I was like, you know what, this is a pretty crazy story a little bit, so I was like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and tell this to you guys. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and get on. Okay, so basically we're in PetSmart and we were looking at the hermit crabs, and I saw one that I wanted. And so we're like, alright, well, we'll just go ahead and get, like, the bedding. I needed, like, hamster bedding that day. And I was like, so I guess we'll just go ahead and get the bedding, and then we can come back and ask the worker if she can get out the hermit crab, because there was a worker there who was cleaning out the fish tanks. Because I don't know if you ever, like, if it's like this in your PetSmart, but the hermit crabs are, like, right next to all the fish tanks in ours. So I was like, yeah, we'll just go ahead and get all the things we need and then get the hermit crab last. So we just went ahead and got those things, and then we went back to go ask the worker if she could get the hermit crab out, but she wasn't there anymore, like, when we went back, so we waited a little bit, like, to see if she was going to come back and finish doing what she was doing, but she didn't come back for, like, a couple of minutes, so my mom and I were like, oh, well, let's just go ahead over to the, cashier and just ask them if they could, get the hermit crab out. And so we asked them, and we were like, oh, we want to get an animal that's in the fish area. And they were like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's not what they do, like, they can't do that, I guess, or something. And so they're like, okay, well, we'll just, call the lady that, was over there cleaning out the fish tanks. And so we go back over there, and the lady, we just wait for, like, probably, like, 10 minutes, and we're like, why is she not coming? Did they forget or something? But they called her, like, while we were standing there, so we're like, okay, this is weird. So we, the hermit crab tank, okay, so the hermit crab tank was actually open, like, it wasn't pushed in all the way, so, like, it wasn't locked. Like, usually they'll have, like, the fish tanks locked, and then they'll have this, like, key that they put in, and then, like, they can bring the tanks out, but they didn't, like, the hermit crabs was open, so I was like, okay, well, if they're not coming, then I'm just going to pick up this hermit crab and bring it to the front. So I pick up the hermit crab, and I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and bring this over just up to the cashier if they're not going to do it. And so I just pick up the hermit crab I want, and I bring it back to the counter, and we're like, okay, so I'm gonna get this hermit crab. And they were like, whoa, wait, you're not supposed to handle, like, you shouldn't just be carrying that around. And I was like, well, you guys, the worker never came. And then it turns out that the lady actually went on her lunch break, so she wasn't even there anymore. She had, like, completely left. So I just pick up the hermit crab, and I'm just holding it, like, in my hand. It's, like, crawling around my hand. And the workers, I was like, they didn't even know what a hermit crab was. They had never seen a hermit crab. The cashier guy was like, oh, I didn't even know a hermit crab was an animal, let alone, like, that we sold them here. And I was like, oh, okay, you're new. And then the lady is just like, you shouldn't, she was the one who was like, yeah, you shouldn't be, holding that like that. And so I'm like, well, could we have, like, a carrier or something to put it in then? Because that lady never came. And so, she's like, oh, yeah. Okay, so we go over there, back to where the hermit crabs are, so that we can put it in one of the little pet carrier boxes, or, like, usually they give us, like, a little container, to put it in, sort of like the betta fish usually are in, like, a little container just to bring it home. And this lady, okay, so you know the bags that they put the fish in when you buy a fish, like, with water in it? She just picks up one of those plastic bags and is like, okay, you can just go ahead and put the hermit crab in here. I was like, no, it can't go in there because it won't be able to breathe. I was like, do you have, like, one of those little containers? And she's like, oh, okay, let me go get one of those. So she goes back into the back, and she's in there for, like, like probably like 7 minutes back there, and then it took her that long to find a, and then she didn't even end up getting the container. She got one of those, like a box that you would put a hamster in, and I was like, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's fine, but it's like, do you, like, you were going to, like, if I was like, what if I didn't know? Like, what if I was a new person getting a hermit crab for the first time, and she gives me one of those plastic bags? Like, that would have killed my hermit crab. Like, if I had been like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll put my hermit crab in here. Oh my, oh, that was just like, I was just mind blown. I was like, I cannot believe it. Like, how do you not know that you sell hermit crabs at your store? Like, the workers were just like, whoa, what is that thing? You're not supposed to be carrying that around the store. I'm like, well, no one was coming, so I was like, well, we'll just bring it to the checkout, whatever. I was like, I'll hold this thing in the car if I have to. Like, if you can't find a container, I'll just hold my hermit. It was so crazy. And so we end up just like putting my hermit crab inside of the little hamster box and bringing it to the checkout. And then that guy's just checking it out, and I'm like, wow, all this for a hermit crab that's like this big. Okay. Wow, though, it was just crazy. I was like, I cannot believe that you guys are just going, like, they were getting, like, so upset about that and everything, and I couldn't believe that they were going to put it in a plastic bag. Like, I mean, how clueless can you be? Like, I get it, you've never seen a hermit crab, but how have you never, like, even heard of a hermit crab? If you work in this store, and, like, I mean, even if you don't work in the fish department, like they didn't, I was like, you should still know. Like, I don't even know. I was like, wow, okay. So that is the crazy story that happened to me when I went to Petsmart to get one of my hermit crabs one time. And yeah, so that was, yes. Yeah, so that was another one of my crazy hermit crab stories. I have plenty of these kinds of stories, guys, so comment down below if you want to hear more of these crazy things that have happened to me while owning hermit crabs. Alright, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.